Three, two, one.
This is DJ Talks, episode 26, and my name is Johnny.
Hey, I am Dan.
I don't think we got a lot of feedback from you guys on our previous episode because all it was a Happy New Year's message. So there's not a lot that we have to say today, but I do want to give a shout out to Kevin Wu for always commenting and telling us how much he loves DJ Talks. That's dope. Much love, dude. Just wanted to give you a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I mean, Kyle, he commented again, I believe.
oh, did he really?
Right? Kyle commented again. So one of your friends. Let me see here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
I
said.
think he watches like almost every one of our episodes, actually.
Yeah, and he said to check out the anxiety videos and all that, which was good. And
Oh yeah, he did.
yes, he did.
He did. That was dope. Yeah, he said, I also really recommend the two anxiety videos on top of the Japanese video. Extremely well done and informative. And he said he might rewatch them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome.
Check them out. Thank you for commenting. We do read them. Don't worry, guys. We do read them. So we're not missing them. We're not, we only have 2 or 3 every week. So it's not like we have to go through a lot. So you say something weird, we'll know it.
Yeah. We do read through all the comments. We haven't gotten any emails, but most of our interactions are through PMs on Facebook and on YouTube. But anyway, just to get into it, this week we wanted to talk about microtransactions and the effects on video games in general. So we're gonna go over a couple of different games and different types of games that have microtransactions in them, and then we'll talk about like what we think of them. But we'll start by telling you about like what they are. So it sounds like what it is. A microtransaction is a small transaction that usually comes in this form of like just a couple of dollars that will generally refer to in-game items. So people will make like a $5, $10, $20 purchase in their game where they can like buy an in-game currency, or they could buy special boxes that are like randomized. Kind of like, I don't want to say it's gambling, but like there's a chance that you'll get something really good, something that's not. And you'll see it a lot with games that are free to play. But then you could buy more stuff in the game to like, speed up a leveling process, or to give you more, cool heroes or champions, or in-game cosmetics are also a really big thing. So Dan and I really wanted to focus on how microtransactions have kind of transformed the way we see games now on mobile platforms, and also like some of the even biggest esports titles.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that you purchase that, like Johnny says, help you out or just make you look good in the game. Virtual goods that you're purchasing rather than actually the game itself. So.
Yeah. So most of the time, like we mentioned earlier, the games are going to be free. I guess the easiest one to start with would be League of Legends, right? It's the world's most played video game in the world. It's also the biggest esport. And the game itself, on its own, is free to play. But if you go into the client, you can actually purchase what they call Riot Points, which are an in-game currency that can be used to buy almost anything in the game. And by almost anything, I mean that you can't always buy some of like the more exclusive items that might be rare or no longer available, but you could buy any character in the game. They're called champions. You could buy skins or in-game cosmetics for those champions. And you could buy a bunch of other like little cosmetic items for like whatever it is, whether it's an icon for your profile, or skins for like other in-game items. But they also have I guess we'll call it a loot box system. That's what we referred to in this video. And that's what we talked about earlier, where you could buy a box with a random stuff in it. You don't know what's going to be in there. There's a chance that it'll be something really rare. And that there's also the chance that it might be something that's pretty common and might not be as good.
And you can also buy stuff for your friends, these boxes as well. So they're mystery boxes. They're available. Now, League of Legends, I think, is actually a very good start-off point where you started. And I think League has both a good and bad to it. Okay. Now, the good side to League is the fact that their microtransactions, you can actually experience or play before you buy them. So they do have their PBE server that you can actually test out all their actual skins that they're coming out with. They give you free skins, or you can even check them out and actually physically play them. So this is a separate server that they do for testing things like, I guess, bugs, right? And certain other, just before they actually put it into the game. So there is the ability to test these out. Champions, skins, what else is there? Man, I can't even remember what else you buy on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of items that you could test out, but most people, so like there is the option with the test out, which is really nice because a lot of games don't really give you the option like try something out before you buy it. Most people actually won't do it because they're just kind of lazy and they'll just like make the purchase based on maybe the splash art of like just a graphic of what you're gonna get. But it's really interesting because like I have mixed feelings about the microtransaction system for League because they're slowly they introduced the loot box system pretty recently. I think it was in the past year or so that it was brought to League of Legends. But they made it so like you'll get like random skins or random heroes that are in the game they're called champions that you can earn just by playing the game a lot. And then you'll get like loot boxes for free. You'll get keys to open up the loot boxes. You can't open the box without a key, but then you can like turn those items into a currency called dust. So it essentially you take these items that you get from the boxes, and if it's something that you like, you can try to permanently upgrade it. If it's something that you don't like, you can turn it into this dust and then save that dust to permanently unlock something that you do like when you get it, but you have to open it from a loot box, right? I don't think the system is that bad. I think that most people will find that they don't spend money on the loot boxes and that they would rather buy RP riot points and just purchase a skin on its own or purchase champion when it's on sale instead of having to go through the gambling process. But then there is the maybe I shouldn't call it gambling because that's like not the best choice of wording there. But
I think it's good wording though because it is a gambling system that they do. And it is very much any type of loot box system, in my opinion, is gambling. You are spending money.
Implies that you're like spending money to like earn money. That's the problem, I guess.
True.
Which is also a debate in itself. But yeah, I don't know. I think the league's system of doing it is like pretty straightforward and it's pretty good. I think what's nice about it is that when you continue to play the game, you'll earn loot boxes, you'll earn keys, and it puts you in a situation where you don't have to feel like you're spending money, but you're getting a ton of cool stuff. At least I don't find that I'm spending too much money at all on this loot box system. So maybe that's just me, but I don't know. What do you think of League's?
Yeah, you see the good things. They also have they have weekly rotations as well. So every champion that you have the ability to obtain without spending money. So the more you play, the more in-game currency you earn. The stuff that you don't have to spend money on. The more in-game currency you earn, the more champions you can buy.
Yeah.
The problem with League, I think, is yes, they do give you this system of a weekly rotation where you can test out champions as well in the real game. But with the massive amount of champions that they do have, this is a very slow process before you maybe a new player has a chance to even play that champion that they think they might like. So it's a good and a bad system, in my opinion, for that. When I think of a good microtransaction game, I think you have every single champion or content available to the player if they want. And then you have the microtransactions or things that you do buy that either help speed up your process if you don't have time outside of the game, or just skins. And I think actually Riot does a great job in the skins because you can see all the skins available. This is not some type of rolling loot box system that they do. You can physically click it open and see what it looks like and how it's kind of going to play out. Whereas something like other loot box systems like Blizzard, where they have the Overwatch system loot boxes, or Hearthstone pack opening systems. This is purely random. Pure randomness where you don't even know if you're going to get a skin that you want. You have to buy maybe 50 to 100 loot boxes before you get a couple of ones that you actually physically enjoy. So
okay, so now we're getting into a different
Right.
loot box system.
Different
That's
loot box
totally
system.
different. Let's start with just Overwatch because I think Overwatch has some similarities with the League of Legends model, where in Overwatch you could buy loot boxes or you could just earn them by playing games.
Mhm.
And these loot boxes are different from leagues because you don't need a key to open them, so you don't have to earn another item randomly that just drops after playing the game in order to open it. Like Dan said, you don't really know what you're gonna get in it. I know in Overwatch you'll get 4 random items, and they will be of different rarities. And depending on the rarity of the item, you earn something within that rarity category. I actually think that the League of Legends loot boxes are more random than the Overwatch ones because you're just going to get like a couple of random items. Like it could be like a champion shard, it could be a skin shard, it could be a ward skin shard. I have no idea. But in Overwatch, at least I'll know that the item fell under a certain rarity, and there's a chance of like me getting like maybe an emote or a new voice line or a skin that's like super rare. Similar to League though, with Overwatch, you can earn coins, gold coins, and you can use those coins to eventually unlock the skin that you really want on your own. That will come by unlocking, by opening a ton of loot boxes. Whereas with the League loot boxes, they'll only turn into this new dust currency that isn't spendable the way Riot points are. I think that Heroes of the Storm follows the same model where you can also get like different types of crates. I don't remember what they're called, but we'll just call them loot boxes for the sake of the video. And they are themed differently as well. That's another thing that a bunch of games do. They'll theme different loot boxes to like increase the chances of getting something. Maybe it's like the winter season or like a Halloween type cosmetic, but that's not super relevant now. So I think that with the Overwatch system, it's different. But I feel like just based on my experience with it, I feel like the chance of getting something good from an Overwatch box is better. I haven't gotten many super cool items in the League loot box, but maybe that's just like my luck. I don't know.
Right.
It also just feels different because you have to go through a process in League where like you open the box and you like get the item, but in order to unlock the item permanently, you have to have enough of that like dust currency. Whereas in Overwatch, as soon as you open a box, whatever's in there, you get to keep, and it's unlocked to your account immediately. I guess it's really different.
I wasn't specifically talking about the loot box system in League though. I was talking about the ability to buy all the skins that you want with RP, which is a microtransaction.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have the ability to buy the skins that you want, and you have the ability to buy the specific champion you want as well. I don't think the champion system is actually really good because they could easily make every single champion available and probably still make just as much money because of the skins that they do make. But
in League?
Yes, in League. I think skins are a huge part. There's not too many new players right now that are popping into the game, buying new champions left and right.
Yeah.
But, so you have the ability to buy any skin in the game for League of Legends that you want. For your specific champion that you want. Rather than having a random loot box system. Yes, the random loot box system is still there and still available for anybody who wants to do it. And who wants to gamble at the chance to get a very nice skin for a cheaper price, I guess. But you have the ability to buy that one skin that you want for the specific champion.
You're talking about like a direct purchase in Leagues for whatever you want versus Overwatch. That's not available.
Right. Where, yes, eventually you can buy it with in-game currency, but that is a long process as well before you can buy the skin that you want. So it has goods and bads to both. There are very goods and bads to both. But overall, it's not. It's one way for if the company is continuously making money, and players are continuously throwing money into it, why would they change the process?
I don't know. I guess that raises the question,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, is this something that companies should be doing? Is it okay that they're creating all these like easy ways to like bait people into spending money or to like offer an opportunity for them to
Mm-hmm.
like, just throw money into like some hole where they don't really know what they're gonna get out of it, but they just like the idea of, getting something random. I remember, I don't remember what it was, but I read somewhere there's like a lot of joy and a lot of like that people are addicted to that feeling of excitement where when they get like they're just really lucky. It's like the
Yeah.
equivalent. I did this a lot in high school with my friends, but like we played card games, trading card games all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and we would always want to buy booster packs because the idea of opening them and then pulling the card that is like worth $150 from that set that are like super playable and can go in like any deck, that just feels really good. And that kind of like you get that feeling in Hearthstone too, where like when you pull a legendary card, it just feels really good because you're like, holy shit, like this is not only super rare, but it's the one card in the entire set that's like
Mm-hmm.
everyone's gonna run this, everyone's gonna want this card to like play competitive. And so when you get to that point and you're like you actually get thing that you want, it just feels really good. But you're not always gonna get that. And I think that part of what these companies are doing in creating this loot box system,
Mm-hmm.
or like what we refer to like loosely a gambling system in game, it kind of took it's kind of there to replicate that excitement that you get, like, yes, that's what I wanted, that's what I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to pull, I feel really good.
Oxytocin, or that chemical in your body.
Hmm.
Yes, I don't know if
Yeah,
that's right either.
I don't know if it's oxytocin either, but like, I'm
Some
talking
type
about
of
that
chemical.
feeling that you
Yeah.
get of like getting that one thing, you feel like you're on top of the world at that moment.
Yes, definitely. That's exactly what game companies are doing. They're literally translating gambling to a game and then just throwing it out there. It's like playing a slot machine.
Hmm.
There's that one chance that you'll actually win a couple dollars, but you've spent 200 already that of your money to win a couple of dollars that you have that sense of feeling. So,
Hmm.
um, well, what I want to do is, what do you think is an ideal microtransaction system?
I don't fucking know, man. I don't want to spend too much money on playing games. Like
Mhm.
that's a really interesting question because like it's asking me as a consumer what would make me feel less bad about spending money
Right.
on a game. Um, I don't think that this game does it perfectly, but I really like what this game does, and I'm talking about Fire Emblem Heroes. It's a mobile Fire Emblem kind of chess type of puzzle game made by Nintendo, based on the Fire Emblem series. If you've never played it, essentially you have a ton of really cool medieval looking animated characters that fight each other on what is like a grid type of chessboard, but they don't have to move around the way chess pieces are restricted, even though there are like some restrictions based on the type of unit it is. And in this game, the microtransaction system is based on the units that you can summon. Um, the heroes that you can, call from one of the different Fire Emblem games. They show up in your game and they are of like different rarities, of different types, and they have different strengths. So as you can imagine, you could pour money into the game to earn the currency that allows you to summon these heroes that are like really strong, that can get you through a ton of different maps and things like that. But what this game does that I haven't seen in any other microtransaction based game is that there is a pity rate. So with every game, I can actually pull it up. I don't know if it'll show up on the webcam, but I kind of want to pull it up anyway. Um, so with every game, there are percentages and rates as to what you can earn from pulling, quote unquote. And in League of Legends, they didn't actually. There are actually a lot of games that didn't publicly announce what those rates were until China made a law that said like, oh, if you're gonna be like a big developer and you're gonna like put out these like loot boxes and stuff, you need to let people know what the rates are
Hmm.
that they're gonna be pulling for. So I don't know if you can see. Let me check. So in Fire Emblem, can you see that at all?
Yeah, I can see it.
Does that show up?
Hmm.
So it tells you the percentages of what you're gonna get based on what rarity it's gonna be. So you can kind of see there, the 4-star rarity, there's a 58% chance that you're gonna get that. Any 4-star hero. There's a 36% chance you get a 3-star hero. There's a 3% chance that you're going to get a 5-star hero, and a 3% chance you're going to get a 5-star focus hero. And a focus hero, just like they're like a bunch of heroes that are featured on this banner, and that kind of tells you like those are the special ones for that banner, and you could pull them more often. But the thing about Fire Emblem, what they do is that those percentages for the 5 stars slowly go up, and the ones for the 4 and 3 stars slowly go down as you don't pull a 5-star hero. So let's say that I pull, it happens every 5 heroes that you pull. So I could pull 5 heroes, and I can miss 5 stars on all of them, and then the percentage will go up a little bit for both the 5-star and 5-star focus, and it'll go down for the 4 and 3-star. I think that is a really good system because, like, it's basically saying that if you had unlimited money, right, eventually you will pull what you want to pull, or eventually you'll get something good. They introduced another type of banner that guarantees that none of the 5 stars you will get are outside of the banner. Because specific to banners, like we were talking about earlier, loot boxes can be themed to like a winter or a Halloween or like some seasonal holiday type of hero skin or whatever. In the game, you can like, there might be a Christmas banner where like they have special heroes dressed up in Christmas outfits and they have like different skills. But then since those are the ones that are showing up on a banner, those would fall under 5-star focus percentage. If I pull any 5-star unit, it breaks that pity rate and it drops back down. So it could be like, I could pull a 5-star unit that's not on a banner, and suddenly my chances go back down to that 3%, which feels really bad. Fire Emblem created another type of banner that shows up every now and then where you have an 8% chance of getting any 5-star hero. It will only be of the units that just show up in the banner, and you'll never be in a position where like your pity rate is broken because you pulled some like random 5-star hero that's garbage. So I think that's really good that they introduced this like model where eventually you'll probably get something really good. Of course, there's going to be like the 1 or 2 stragglers that are really unlucky that show up on Reddit and show they have like a 20% rate of getting a 5-star hero, but they haven't pulled anything, and it like went up from 3%, so it just feels really bad. But I don't know any other game that does a thing where like they increase the chance of getting something good as you continue pulling.
So this is you're paying money to pull heroes, is that correct?
You can pay money, and you can also earn the in-game currency to pull heroes through like doing in-game quests and things like that.
Now, are you able to earn these, I guess? So when you purchase something with money in Fire Emblem's Heroes, are you buying a pack? Are you buying a...
You're buying the in-game currency that allows you to pull, that's specifically used to pull heroes.
I see. So you can earn the in-game currency, and you can also buy the in-game currency as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So, yeah, I mean, in my sense, in my thought, my idea of a microtransaction is... Mobile games are so much different, though. So I'm gonna broaden. I'm gonna say more so for a video game in general, not a mobile game. But for a video game, if you do have many characters in your game, I think you should be able, or a company should have those all characters available to the player to play. Okay. I don't think you should ever have a system where you need to spend money to earn a character in the game in order to play that character and then find out, oh, later on, you actually don't like this character and you hate playing this character. That feeling makes it so much worse. So that's number one. If you have a character system or a hero system or many different pieces of that you need to play these pieces and characters, you should not have to purchase any of them.
So in the example of League of Legends then, I shouldn't be forced to purchase a champion if I don't know if I'm going to like playing it or not. In other words, there needs to be an opportunity for me to try that champion in order for me to, before I purchase it. Otherwise, it's a garbage system. It's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, but I do think, no. Okay, so I think League should make every single hero or every single champion available, as in free, not a rotating system where you can test it out. I need them all to be free and available for a new player or for any player to play this game.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, I don't ever think a company should ever have a pay-to-win system. So you can pay to increase your power in the game. So I know a lot of people, or a lot of people that we watches our podcast play League. So in a League system, if you were to be able to purchase in-game, like purchase your items in-game faster than the other team, that would make this system completely broken. Right. So if you were to be able to buy an item in the game called BF Sword or something, before the other player, just by paying an extra $1, or like, yeah, I want to buy this item right now, I'm going to pay an extra $1. That would break the system. Now, that's completely, obviously, against the way the game actually works, but yeah, if they were to have some type of system like that, or an MMORPG, where you can buy a legendary weapon at level 1, and you can start using it to beat other players in a player versus player system. That is, I think that's completely out.
I think those are two different things though. Like if I'm playing League and I'm able to buy an in-game item before the other player just because I forked over $5 to Riot, I agree, that's bullshit. Especially in an environment where like this is a game where like you're rewarded for making good decisions and you're just a better player than your opponent. That's totally fair. But in like another like MMORPG where like you're just grinding and you enter an environment where it's all PvP, you should expect that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be like paying tons of money to like earn the coolest items or to like get extra membership or to have like special items unlocked. And like if you're going to go into an environment where you're going to fight other players who would probably have that advantage over you and you're free to play, you should be ready for that. I think that like in a game like that where it's totally grindy, it's less skill based and it's more like I'm just going to put time into it, I'm going to put tons of time into it, you're going to put money into it, that's cool. Like I don't think that should be shamed.
But I don't personally, I don't think that's a system where it would work. You should not have two separate communities in one game system, where one is the ability to spend money to do better than the people who don't have the time available to pay for what you have. So something like one big MMO, maybe World of Warcraft. I don't know if they do have some type of pay-to-win system or something. I don't know the system at all, but
let's use Hearthstone then. Let's use Hearthstone as an example, because you and I are both more familiar with Hearthstone.
Okay, a Hearthstone. It is a huge pay-to-win system for Hearthstone, I think, because yes, you do have the ability. It's both pay-to-win and skill. So if you both have skill and you have the money to pay to win, then you are definitely going to be the top of the chain player at least at the early start of the any type of expansion, right? And then you have those people who can't or don't have the ability or don't want to spend the money, who are still grinding completely and opening packs every single day based on just in-game currency they earn from quests. They take 5, 10, 20 times longer to achieve the same cards that you have achieved in a couple of minutes. I don't think that system should ever be in place in a video game situation unless you specifically cater to a pay-to-win model. Specifically, you are saying, as a company, I am here to cater to those people who have the money. You, as a company, say that out publicly. Whereas a lot of companies don't say that. They say, no, we have a free game. You can be as much as you want. Nobody has the time available to spend 20 times more, hours in the day, or 20 times more time than a person who can spend an hour buying every single pack with money. That's what I don't think should be in a game system. If it's a person versus player versus player game. Yeah,
I guess I agree to some degree. Like it feels bad if you're gonna be paired up against someone who is spending like a ton of money on the game and you haven't. So then you just are gonna be at a disadvantage going in like that. That I agree feels bad. But like then you create a situation where like, okay, well, do we have to create like tiers of like if you spend like between like 50 and $100 on a game, or like $100 to $500 that like that community people go together because they spent that money, or like the smaller, you know, people that haven't spent as much money, like they play against each other. Then you like break up the community, and then like matchmaking gets really bad, and it creates this environment where it's like super strange. I think that the current system that Hearthstone has now actually works really well, where you have people that are playing against each other in a skill bracket that you're going to be matched up against someone who is in the same skill level as you, and it doesn't necessarily matter whether they've spent the money or not, but like you will be at an even playing field going in based on like the skill level that you have achieved with the resources that you have up until that point. Yeah, that's kind of going to be kind of weird, like you said at the beginning of like an expansion period where like new cards come out and people just throw down a ton of money and they'll have it before like everyone else does. That's kind of weird. But then there's also like the opportunities that Hearthstone offers where you can play games that aren't necessarily against someone else, and maybe it's just against another robot, whether you're free or paid, in the sense that like, you know, you're putting a ton of money in or not, or you can like play against other players with like preset decks. I guess that steps away from the microtransaction aspect of it, but I guess we have different opinions here because personally, I don't think it's like that bad. I do agree that there are instances where like the pay to win feels really bad, but then there are environments where it's not necessarily as something that you should necessarily like, frown upon. I guess I don't really know how to. That was worded really poorly, but that's just my stance on it.
It's just so much harder to advance in a game without being able to spend the money. Like Hearthstone, yes, you can earn the in-game currency and you can earn gold, but it takes so long to earn the gold.
Yeah.
In order to buy a card that you want to play with. Right. That's a model that I don't think should be in a gaming system. That's all. Different opinions, definitely. Third, I do think a very, very good microtransaction that should be added into any game that you need to advance in is the ability to decrease your time by paying money. So, in an MMORPG...
You do think it should be there?
Yes, I do think it should be there.
Because so, like, if I'm farming and I'm, like, trying to grow some crops in, like, Farming Simulator, I should be able to pay $5 to have that shit sprout right away.
Yes. Okay. That is a good system, or something like in an MMORPG. I don't want to spend hundreds of hours grinding all the way up to a 70. Yeah, there is a degree of, yes, you should have a little bit of the grind. You can't just pay literally $100 to get max level right away. I think there still should be some type of grind, but there should be an ability to increase the speed at which you can level up. That it doesn't affect a player versus player system. You're not getting a better item based on your level. You are decreasing the time that a person needs to spend, because not everybody has the ability to spend 20 hours in a day to grind on an MMORPG. They love the game that they're playing, but they want to be able to get to that end game before they die. You know? So the decrease in time by paying a couple of dollars, I think, is an okay system. It's a perfectly okay system because, yes, you can still reach the top level by playing a little bit more. But people have lives, people have jobs, people have children, people have things that they need to do in the real life that they can't fully spend in a game. So, yes, some type of system like that would be good.
So I agree and disagree. I think that having the opportunities to like fork over money to like speed up a farming or grinding process makes sense. I think that, like you said, like not everyone's gonna want to invest that kind of time into a game, and it creates the opportunity where the developer can just take advantage of like, you know, someone's lifestyle, and if they're willing to put that time in or that money into like whatever, it makes sense. I think that's totally fine. That's cool. But I think that like. A really big thing is that you don't want to create a scenario where people don't want to play your game anymore because they're super burnt out and they've just grinded like 60, 70 hours and they're like, all right, well, now I'm bored. And I think that is something that can happen if you put in money to like get through like the grinding process of a game. So I think that there needs to be limits on how that money can be spent and where it could be set.
Oh, of
Because
course.
you don't want to create a scenario where like they just get so tired. They're like, oh man, $300 in and like 50 hours into this game, I'm just like super bored now. Like I'm already so strong. Like you want to make it so that the progression is good
Mhm.
and that it's slow enough to where they continue to come back to the game and they spend enough money to where like they feel like I think it's something really important is that the money that people spend on a game needs to feel valuable and needs to feel like it's worth it.
Mhm.
So a big problem with Hearthstone that I had is that when I'm putting money down over and over to like buy these packs, at some point the packs feel um like
Useless.
yeah, because the cards are so old, they get outdated, and they can't even be played in a competitive format anymore. It just feels really bad.
Mhm.
I often compare that to trading card games in real life, where if I'm putting down money for really expensive, valuable cards, at least at the very end of the day, if it's a card that I like or if it's a card that looks good, I can keep it. I can put that shit in a binder and I can show it off to everyone I know.
Hey,
At
you
least
can
there's
show
that.
it off in Hearthstone too. Hey, check out my computer right here. I got this card.
All right. One of my friends was telling me about how she was she was helping out at DreamHack Denver to run a Hearthstone tournament, and this guy had the biggest case of EP-ness, where he was showing this girl like, you like my gold cards? You like that, huh? I'm like, holy shit, this is so, oh my god, like, you need help. But I mean, whatever, man. Like this guy's just trying to. He was making my friend uncomfortable, and she's like, "Oh, this is gross. I don't care if I get
Mac
gold
Daddy, baby.
legendaries or whatever." Like he had the worst case of eatiness. But anyway, another thing about Fire Emblem Heroes that I really like is that the game consistently tries to address power creep. And if those of you guys that aren't familiar with power creep, it's kind of is what it sounds like, where the game progressively you'll see new items, new units, new in-game content progressively get stronger and stronger to where other units or other characters or other items are just simply obsolete to the new stuff.
Mhm.
So Fire Emblem does a really good job at addressing power creep by buffing old units or offering ways to upgrade and things like that. And so something I really like is like when I pull the unit and I put like a ton of money into it, I get to keep it. I can keep fighting with it, and I can always fight with it. And if it comes to a point where the unit's a little weaker, I can trust that developers are gonna like make it so it'll be relevant. And even then, a big thing that is different here, Dan, that you are addressing is that there isn't a direct PvP system. So that's it kind of makes Fire Emblem almost like the game that you would also like too, where like you're putting money in, you're getting all these really cool units, you're getting all this really cool, powerful stuff. You can keep playing as much as you want, but you're not directly screwing over somebody else because you put a ton of money into it. Because like, you know, if you're going to fight against someone's team, that team is going to be controlled by someone else, by the computer. You just like, you know, put it up and say like, this is my profile, this is my team. You're not actually playing against someone like in real time. So then you can like tailor your strategy or your team against that team.
Right. It feels bad when that
exactly
happens.
It just feels really bad. I completely agree. Just that feeling of feeling really bad when you're losing to someone that just put way more money than you, that's horrible. There should be the opportunity in any case for you to lose to somebody who has, like, if I put in $1,000 into a game and you have it, Dan, there should be an opportunity for you to fight against me on an even battlefield, no matter how much money I put in, right? I think that makes a lot of sense, and I'll give you that. So, I mean, I guess like we just keep going back and forth with all these different games, but it really is weird to think about how we are like in a like the video game industry has come to a point where like it's not uncommon for people to throw money into a game that not only is free to play from the get-go, but might also be like you might also have to buy it before you could throw more money in. So like Overwatch is a great example. You have to buy Overwatch, the title, and then you could buy loot boxes for all the stuff that you want. But the plus side is that all the characters are already unlocked for you in the game. You know, League of Legends, not all the champions are unlocked, but the game is on its own free. You just have to grind a shit ton to get close to like, you know, unlocking any of the relevant champs that you want to have.
Of course.
Fire Emblem's a free game, but you know, I've already put in like, admittedly, I put in like a couple $100 into it because like I have so much fun with it, and like I really enjoy like being able to pull some of my favorite units and then like fighting with them. So,
but yeah, I mean that's on the developers in order. So I'm gonna go back a little bit to the speed and pace of the game. That is on the developer to create a system or to create a gameplay where it's enjoyable to grind or to feel the end game. So yeah,
Right.
if you have a system and a microtransaction, that's why I guess you have to build with a microtransaction system. You have to build starting with the idea of yes, we're going to have a microtransaction system. Yes, players may be able to purchase these things to help increase speed. So we have to third create an end game or create a grind system where is actually enjoyable. So you have to start off at the base level and say, yeah, we're going to make people spend money on the game if they want to. And then finally, we have to make the game enjoyable if they do end up grinding way too fast.
Yeah.
Right? So that's on the developers, and that's where it's a difficult time where we feel, or I think that right now developers, from what I've seen in the system at least, I haven't played in like Star Wars Battlefront 2. I haven't played the game yet, so but I don't. But it's a lot of this like the develop or the companies are creating. They're taking the easy way out almost. Yeah, they have to spend time and effort to create the game, but they're also only. It's just feels as a consumer or as the people buying the game to that all they want is money. And they're creating a game in order to only make money, not to just have the enjoyment of the game as well. So there has to be a good balance to it. And EA does a very poor job in it because I have seen, and I actually researched this, watched a bunch of YouTube videos about like EA games in the past where a lot of the times EA took so many games and so many developing companies and actually made it worse.
Yeah.
Like
I cannot get behind the idea. And I know Destiny 2 kind of does this too, but like I cannot get behind the idea of asking a consumer to pay the price of a AAA title, you know, between $50 and like $100 for a game, and then forcing them to continuously buy DLCs or downloadable content at premium prices like $10, $20, $30 a package just to continue playing the game at all, or to where like you have enough in-game currency to unlock the characters and items you want. Like in the case of Battlefront 2, I remember that GameStop actually put in $100 into loot boxes to like test it out, and they still didn't have enough money from the in-game currency that they got from the loot boxes to purchase characters to play like Darth Vader. Like you shouldn't be like, why the fuck would you pay like $60, $80 for a Star Wars game to not be able to play Darth Vader, right? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. That's just fucking dumb. I think that Nintendo actually does a really good job with DLCs where they add new layers to the game, but do not prevent you from being able to enjoy or play the base game. I'm going to go with like a really easy example that a lot of people are probably already familiar with, Breath of the Wild on the Switch. So you got to pay $300 to get the Switch, which most people still don't have. You know, but a lot of people I know are on the fence about getting it, but there are enough titles to justify it. Cool, I understand that. And then you got to pay $60 for the game. So let's just focus on the price of the game. $60 for a AAA title. Makes sense. Most games that you see on consoles and PC are generally going to be like $60.
And I'm gonna include something. Yeah, these games have not increased in price based on inflation either. They have pretty much stayed at $60. Which
exactly. No, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you have to pay $60 for Breath of the Wild. You get the full-fledged story. You know, you get the open world, gorgeous scenery that, you know, Link gets to travel. You get to go through all the quests. You get to see all the memories, all that cool stuff. You get the entirety of the game. Okay. The DLC that Nintendo offers, they don't ask you to purchase it. They offer is $20 for 2 packages. The first one comes with a bunch of cool in-game cosmetics that are throwbacks to old games, like you get, if you're familiar with Legend of Zelda titles at all, the Tingle from Wind Waker and other titles, you can wear his outfit in the game.
Is that the bubble,
you can also wear like
balloon guy?
Yeah, the fucking balloon fucker. Yeah. And there's like, if you remember from Wind Waker, there's like the armored guy, the Black Phantom armor. You can also wear that on Link. You got a lot of really cool stuff there. If you play Breath of the Wild, you'll know that you collect Korok seeds and you can get a mask that'll shake and fucking light up when you're near a Korok seed. Additionally, the more important part of the DLC is that you can power up your Master Sword by getting through a really cool trial, like dungeon-style trial. that'll take you maybe like 20, 30 hours to get through, depending on like how patient you are. Maybe just really good and you'll get through it really easily. But there's that. The second part of the DLC, and you have to buy them together, is it expands on 4 characters in the game. The original game, the $60 story game, it expands on 4 characters that are important to the story that don't get a lot of spotlight. They don't get a lot of screen time. But this DLC tells you their stories. You get to play as them. I don't actually know. I haven't played it yet, so don't quote me on that. Maybe you don't get to play as them. But I know that it just goes really in depth about those 4 champions. The Champions Ballad is what it's called. I think that's fantastic. Like, if you're gonna charge someone $20 to add more to an already really good game, that's perfect. But like in the case of Battlefront 2, don't charge me more money to tell me that I need that to play the game when you're already giving me a shitty experience for the $60 price, right? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. DLCs should be additional, downloadable content. That's what they're called. Additional, extra, almost like side quest things where you can add into the game in order to kind of, I kind of interested in this story back there ago, but we didn't want to improve on that back there. Like, you could still finish an entire game and still create. Like, imagine if Super Mario, imagine the original Super Mario, the world, like World 1-1, you had to pay in order to get Bowser and in order to beat Bowser, right?
That's a really good comparison.
Like, think about that. If you can beat a world. Ooh, imagine if they did this where they had 4 worlds and they called that the full game, but they didn't have Bowser at the end. And then you had to pay $20 to beat Bowser at the end. That is pretty much what some of these current games are actually doing, where it's good, I don't know, it's bad, and they do it. Who knows what they're thinking right now? But yeah, downloadable content should be exactly that. Extra side quests where you can make your game cooler, more expansive, not finish the game with the downloadable content. So,
and I guess to finish that point off, the world of video games is evolving very, very quickly. Like, esports is getting fucking huge, where you have competitive games, right? The access to video games is getting easier and easier. Think about games that you play on your phone. I know that a lot of my friends don't really consider themselves gamers, and I think that there is a fine line between people that are have their headsets and they're on their computers and they're playing all the time, versus people that are just on the train and they're playing a game on their phone. But there is the enjoyment of being able to play video games, and I think that would constitute what it means to be a gamer, someone that just enjoys video games for the sake of playing them, right? But with so many changes to the video game industry, where mobile games are getting really big, the Nintendo Switch honestly revolutionized the way video games are played now, between the decrease in popularity of console games, the increase in popular PC games, but then being able to play AAA titles on the go. That's awesome, right? And then just with more money in the industry, where people are willing to dish out just as much money as they want to buy those Hearthstone packs or to buy those Overwatch loot boxes, or fucking like me just buying fucking orbs to pull heroes in Fire Emblem, right? You're gonna see this isn't where the evolution of video games ends, and I'm really hoping that the video games that you and I grew up, Dan, where we're kids and all we wanted to do was just play those games, and we got so much enjoyment by whatever, just for what that game was worth in that title, and not having to pay more money to enjoy it further. I'm hoping that honest companies will continue to maintain that model, because I don't want to be in a scenario where I have to keep putting out money over and over and over and over to play my favorite games, to enjoy them the way I did as a kid. I don't think that that'll do good for the video game industry, and it just creates a really bad, disgusting atmosphere where it's all about your money.
So at the end of the day, gamers, consumers, people, do what you do. Do what you did with Battlefront 2.
Create the fuck out of it and flame it on Reddit.
Create and voice your opinion on the game, and voice your opinion on the travesties of freaking this world of gaming, and be able to speak out loud and talk back to this company and make sure that they know that what they're doing is not right. Because yes, if you keep buying their games and you keep giving them money and you keep supporting them, even if they screw you, you're making it so much easier for them. You're paying someone to fuck you. It's pretty much what it is. So,
and that's the good kind.
oh man, but yeah, like just don't support them if you don't agree with what they're doing. And EA is one of those companies that most people have had bad experiences with, and maybe they'll finally change their ways, but then they'll maybe go back to the way they are. Who knows? If you don't buy the game, they'll have to change. So
yeah, you as a consumer, you actually have so much power with your wallet and your spending. So like, if you just don't want to support something, just don't spend money on it. Don't talk about it. Don't give them the clicks or the views on social media, and move on and support the companies that do. That being said, I would definitely go as far as saying like, if there's a game or like a title that you really enjoy, like if you could find ways to support it, I would definitely appreciate that. Like some of my friends will still like pirate games because they like want to play it, but they don't necessarily like feel it or like justify the $40-$60 that they want to spend on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you actually want to continue seeing good stuff from them, like pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, then just don't buy it and let it rot on those like store shelves. So that's yeah.
A good example, like as you said, of a very good game. Nintendo does a great job at it. Nintendo has not really had too many issues when it comes to at least their console gaming. Mm-hmm. Too many issues when it comes to, oh, you're making me pay too much for a full game.
Yeah.
Right. And also one game that everyone should check out, it was a game of the year, was like The Witcher. The Witcher 3 was a very good full-size length game where you can spend like almost hundreds of hours playing the game without even finishing or even ever buying a DLC. And yes, there are DLCs available for you, but you don't have to get them in order to play hundreds of hours as well. So that's when it feels good. You have to make your money valuable. So there you go.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts, Dan?
I'm good. Thank you for watching. We went on a little rant, but yeah.
Yeah. But in any case, those are our thoughts on DLCs. If you guys have any, or not DLCs, just microtransactions in general. If you guys have any thoughts, feel free to drop them in the comments below or to email us, depending on where you're listening to us. But with that being said, thanks for listening, and you'll hear from us next week.
Adios.